Good afternoon and welcome to Life Lessons with Mrs. O. It's been a long time, and I want to thank you, all my subscribers. You are the ones that keep me going. Thinking about you, it's like, oh, I need to come up and do something. So today we're going to be talking about parenting with young adults. I mean, this is the stage that we are in. We have two adults, and I want to come and share with you some of the things that we have learned, and maybe some of the mistakes we have realized now that our children are adults. So I'm just going to jump right in. Now, parenting goes through different stages as the children grow. It starts with from the time the child was born, where you have to help them to do everything, and then the child needs the parents for everything, and then we come to the stage where the children are now toddlers, and then they become school age children. I already have a video on that. And then we have the parenting teenagers. I know that is a stage that parents really struggle. We also struggled in that area, and then now we come to the stage of young adults, and then young adults become final adults. So today we're just going to be talking about sharing strategies on how to parent young adults. Now, unfortunately, the irony of life, like I said, is that parents gives everything to their children, everything as they grow and they become old. We as parents, we tend to do everything for our children. We tend to forget about our own needs. We tend to forget about our own wants. The totality of our life is around our children. And then unfortunately, what happens? The children just grow up old. They grow up and they don't need us anymore. And I find out that a lot of us as parents, we find it very difficult to transition from being a parent where our children need everything from us, where they will help them through everything, to a stage where they don't need us for anything. And it's like we become redundant in their life. So how as parents do we transition from or make those adjustments? The first thing I want us to have an understanding is, as our children are growing, we also have to grow with our children. What do I mean by that? It means that we have to be intentional about how we parent our children and how we live our own lives. We cannot find our identity from our children. I repeat that again. Our children are not our identity. And I want to encourage us not to lose our identity, and that we're able to separate our identity from that of our children. That's one of the things I learned. I was a stay-at-home mom where everything, my morning till my evening, was about my children. But I woke up pretty fast, because by the time I got to when they were pre-teens, they were not really needing me for anything. So parents, please, one thing as you grow with your children, make sure that you are also raising your children to become very independent. The worst thing that you can do to yourself is that you have a child who is 18, 19, 20, and they are not able to do the things that a normal, a regular 18, 19 or 20-year-old is doing. Because I can tell you, by the time you parent your children in such a way that they depend upon you for everything, and they continue all through till this time that they are young adults, it becomes a concern for you. In my own space, my professional work, I work with children, and I mentor children, I mentor adults, and even parents. And one of the things I found out is parents are now coming to me, oh Mrs. O, my child is not able to wash his clothes. My daughter is not able to take care of herself. My daughter, and I used to just ask, oh, how did you raise them? So it's important that as a parent, you put your end result in front of you. You know what you want to see your child becoming. I'm not talking about academics. I'm not talking about being successful in the career sense of the word, because that's what we focus on. But we have to begin to decide and begin to raise our children to become a whole child. So it's not only about their academics, it's about life generally. It's about life skills, about self-regulations and all of that. So it's important that as parents, we don't get our identity from our children. And also we need to raise our children in such a way that they are independent. I've heard mothers who are saying, oh, my child always calls me for this, my child always calls me for that. And these same parents will now come back and later say, so what can I do? This child is now 25, he's still calling me, he's still not able to take decisions by himself. So we want to be able to balance it. We don't want our children to become over-independent on us, because I want to believe that we are giving our children the skills, not just academics, but also life skills, so that they become independent, and you can also become yourself. You can move on with life. You can begin to do things that you want to do that does not involve your children. So it's important that we have this in view. I needed to quickly say that. So let's get back to parenting a young adult. It's important that now they are young adults. They are no longer depending on us, unfortunately. They're not asking, Mom, what will I want to wear? They're not asking, Mom, what I want to eat. No, they are now on their own. I'll share a personal experience with you. How we got shocked into realizing that we have adults. In the past, we tell our child, in fact, we were superstars to our children. In fact, we were the best parents. Oh, Mom, you are the best mom in the whole wide world. But you know what I get these days? I get told all my mistakes, what I could have done better. And I can tell you, it's hard. It's difficult when you get that feedback from your children. Now, raising them, I was thinking about, oh, the best that if everything about our life was to see that our children came out to be the best. But even in raising them to be the best, we're getting some feedback. So what happened? We went to visit with our son, and we saw that his TV was in a particular area, and we're thinking, why didn't he just buy a TV stand? So we decided to go buy a TV stand for him. You would think he would say thank you. It was not thank you. He told us right back, Mom, Dad, take that thing back. I don't need it. My room is set the way I want it set, and I don't need any additional furniture. I know some of you will say, hey, over the two no and all of that. Yes. But we learned the hard way. It was hard. It was like, oh, wow. He is truly not a man. So we could have taken it. It was hard, I will confess. It was really hard. I was upset. His dad was upset. And he put his 2 feet down and said, no, you need to take that thing back. I don't want it. The next day, of course, he came to apologize, that, okay, it was a little bit too hard, but he needed to teach us that lesson. So when we go to his space now, it's not our space, it's his space, and we have to respect that. So parenting young adults, the first thing we have to realize that, know that they are adults. Yes, they are your children. They are our children, but they are now adults. They are almost like our equal. They are equal, only that they are not our equal when it comes to life experiences. So number one, we have to respect them. We have to respect them in every area. We have to respect their views. We have to respect their ideas. We have to respect them as a person. And we cannot shove things down their throat anymore. So respect is key. We have to learn to respect our young adults. We have to learn to respect their views, their ideas. And we have to learn to respect them even when they disagree with what we have counseled them. They don't have to take our counsel anymore. I repeat, they don't have to take our counsel anymore. I take it further. They don't have to take our instruction anymore. So this is the reason why, as they are growing, it is important that we raise our children to be whole, not just about academics, but about life skills, self-regulations, critical thinking, being able to take decisions by themselves, being able to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. I know we as parents, inclusive of myself, I didn't want my children to make mistakes. But can I tell you, I'm learning. I am learning right now that yes, it is good for them to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. It is good for them to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. When I was growing up, I made mistakes and I learned from them. And those mistakes formed my own life experiences. So we need to be gracious enough and loving enough to allow our children to make some mistakes. Now, let me qualify that mistakes. I'm not talking about mistakes that will affect their future. It is okay if you have a teenager that has refused to do his math assignment. When he gets his grade for math assignment, that should normally teach the child, with you counseling, advising, that the reason why your math grade is this is because you didn't do what is needed. That's the kind of mistake I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the mistake that your son says, oh, I want to jump from my roof, from your roof to the ground. You already know he will break his hand or break his feet, or he may even smash his head on the floor. That's not the kind of mistakes I'm talking about. I'm talking of mistakes that your children can learn from to help them grow. So respect is number one. Respecting their space, respecting their view, respecting their person, and making them to be independent. And being independent means from when they are young, you begin to put things in place, begin to raise them, train them to be independent of you. That means they'll be able to make some decisions by themselves. I'll tell you this story. There was once upon a time, I had this friend who went shopping with a child. Now this child was in it was a teenager, and mom had to follow him into the dressing room to go for him to try on his clothes. And for me, I was like, I let him wear his clothes and come out. You know, so it's important that we raise our children. Let's not over baby our children, because over baby children becomes over babied adults. And it is important that now that they are young adults, we're also praying, oh Lord, let them get married. So what I learned, I've shared with you. I should go on with this video because it's going to be a part 2 of this video. Number 1, I talked about respect. Number 2, I talked about not over babying them, making them to be independent of us, and we have to start early. The greatest strategy for us as parents is to have a 25-year-old man or woman, and they're calling you for everything. Don't encourage it. You may like it initially, but I can assure you it becomes a burden. I've seen parents calling me for this. So what can I now do? We as Nigerian parents, we baby our children so much. What they will wear, what they will eat, what school they will go to, what course they will read. Let's take steps back. Those over babying is from ages 1 to 10 years. By the time they are 11, you begin to release them a bit and bit. Now you know your child. It may also be that if your child is not ready for all of those responsibilities, continue to do it, but gradually raise your child to be dependent. Until I see you next time, I want to say thank you for listening. If you have any comment, if you have any disagreement, please, I love to hear from you. I really would love to hear from you, so that I also will learn from you. I have young adults. If you have any ideas that will also help me as a parent, I don't know it all, but I'm just keeping it real. Until I see you next time, stay blessed. Ciao.